In this video, we're going to show you how to install the front bumper impact pad on your Dodge Charger located behind your front bumper. Using a 22mm socket, let's loosen and remove our lug nuts. Remove the wheel and set it aside. On the bottom lip of our bumper, we have a series of 7mm screws. I want to go loosen and remove all of these. On the inside of the fender here, we're going to have 3 retainer buttons. Use your trim tool. You want to pop out the center. And then once that button gets released, then the base will come out like so. Sometimes these are brittle and they can break, so you may have to source out some replacement buttons. And there would normally be one up on the top here, but our vehicle is missing one, so we're going to have to source out a replacement for this button. But remove these 3, and once you do that, you want to repeat for the passenger side. With the hood open across the front section, we want to get and remove this panel. We're going to do so by using our trim tool. We need to remove our push buttons here. So you want to get underneath the top, lift up gently, and then we'll pull out with the bottom half. Now there's a series of these running across the whole front. We need to remove all of these. Right where the fender comes over and meets the header panel or bumper cover itself, there's a 10mm bolt right here. We're going to use our deep socket. Loosen and remove that bolt. We're going to repeat this process for the driver's side. Now if we look up inside the front portion of our fender liner, there's going to be a few more of these plastic push buttons. We can use our trim tool. Just continue this process by popping out the outer portion of that button. Remove these 3 buttons here on the bottom, holding our lower splash shield to the fender liner. Right around this duct here, there are 3 7mm screws. Loosen these, remove them. At this point here, we can peel back our fender liner. We need to access the hardware holding the front bumper cover to our fender. Now when we peel back our fender liner here, there's going to be 2 10mm bolts. Now it's tough to see up in there. If you kind of peek up in the side here, you're going to see one. It goes down this way, and then there's going to be another one right about here coming down as well. I'm using a stubby 1/4 inch ratchet with a 10mm, and basically you just kind of feel up in there, find it, and then you want to loosen and remove both of these. And this is one of the bolts right there. And just kind of run your hand up on the inside here. And you're going to find that other 10mm bolt. It feels like it's roughly about right here. And once again, the 1/4 inch stubby ratchet is pretty much the only thing you're gonna fit in there. You can try a regular long 1/4 inch ratchet. Okay, there's the second bolt there. Now you want to go ahead and repeat this process for the passenger side as well. We're going to use a 90-degree pick to go ahead and grab that red lock tab and pull that back. Then you're going to press down on this little tab. It's right here. You're going to press down on that and disconnect that harness. Sometimes due to the debris that's in there, you can use a pair of pliers to gently pinch and wiggle that off. So here is a red lock tab right here. So you can just slide that back. Normally it's push all the way forward, but slide that back, push on this tab right here, and then remove this. Now if you follow the harness up, it'll come to a little plastic retainer button. You're going to use your trim tool. We need to pop that off. Sometimes these break. You can simply use a tie strap later on to go ahead and re-anchor that as necessary. But most of the time with a trim tool, you can go ahead and pop that free. And now up here, we have our marker light on the fender. We simply want to push down on the little tab right here and pull this harness off. There it is. So here's the little tab right here on the back side. You're going to be pressing in on and slide this off. You can see all the debris falling out of that. And once you get those separated, you're going to follow this up to the top. One last retainer right here. Pop that out. Now you want to go ahead and repeat this process for the passenger side. Now that we have the fog lights disconnected, we can now grab the bumper cover. Pull it straight forward. I'm going to grab it right underneath the license plate area. Work this out and set it aside. Now on the back side of our front bumper, we have our impact pad right here. Now there's going to be two 7mm screws. There's one here on the driver's side and there's going to be one on the passenger side. And if you follow up diagonal, there's going to be a few of these plastic push pins, these retainers. We want to get to remove those. There is a total of 4 of those. Use your trim tool, go ahead and pop out the center. And once you get that out so far, you can get the base and remove that. As the first one, let's go ahead and repeat this across the top. Remove that impact pad. Take your impact pad, line that up. Let me get that screw started here. Go ahead and snug that down. Go ahead and start installing your plastic push pins. Sometimes these buttons will push in nice and easy. Other times it might require a little bit of pressure. And then install your last screw at the end. Gently snug that down. Now when we install our bumper cover, we want to make sure that the bottom splash guard here goes inside the lower lip. And when we come to the top, the upper cover is going to go up and over the top. So let's go ahead and grab that bumper cover and get it lined up. As you come around to the side here, you want to make sure that the pins for the bumper cover line up with the holes in the fender. You're going to do that on both sides. On the bottom portion of our headlights, the bumper has little tabs in it that are actually going to interlock. So once you get one side installed, you can go ahead and manipulate the other side to line up. Remember, get that splash shield on the bottom lined up underneath the edge of the bumper. Line up your pins. You should be able to push that back and into place. Now, while the bumper is still being held in place, we're going to go ahead and just pop a couple of the plastic push pins across the top here. And we'll go ahead and take a couple of our plastic push pins, line that up, and pop those into place. Just going to grab a couple here, install a couple on the other side. That'll hold this whole assembly in place while we finish installing all of our pins on the top. Install our upper 10mm bolt here into the bumper cover. We just want to snug that down. Go ahead and repeat this process for the passenger side. We can now install our two 10mm bolts between the fender and the bumper cover. Now I like to thread these in as far as I can by hand. It makes it a little bit easier. That way you don't have to keep on trying to grab that socket on the ratchet to tighten it up. And then when you feel comfortable to do so, go ahead and grab your ratchet and your socket and snug those down. Once that bottoms out, just give it a little bit more. We can install our harness and press your retainers into place. And we have our harness here for the marker light. And grab that. Push it up, you can feel and hear it click into place. Press our connector onto our fog light. Once you feel that clip in, you can push the red lock tab in to lock that into place. Now with the harness installed, you want to go ahead and repeat this process on the passenger side. Now you want to use a trim tool here. Go ahead and roll that fender back up inside. Our particular fender has a little bit of damage to it, so it shouldn't be that complicated on your vehicle if it's not been damaged. Once we have our fender liner pretty much lined up where we need it to go, let's go ahead and install the 3 screws to the duct work right here. I'm going to start all 3 of these by hand first. Now when you're tightening these screws here, you're going to feel them gently snug down. That's all you need to do. Just make sure that the bottom down a little bit tight. You can actually hear the impact driver bogging down a little bit as it seats. And that's it, just snug them down. Now the next thing you want to do is grab that lower splash shield right here. You need to pull this down gently. Make sure that this goes behind it. You can pull this back up and in. Gotta line up your screws here. We just want to snug those down. I'm gonna go right across the bottom portion of the front bumper lip here. Now across the bottom of the bumper here, there are 2 tabs that insert into the lower splash shield here and here. Now for any reason, when you install the bumper cover, that these didn't line up, you can simply just reach up, flex them and push them in. It's not that big of a deal. You can go ahead and pop that in afterwards. Go ahead and grab your wheel, line that up, set it into place. We want to go ahead and get all of our lug nuts started by hand, and then we'll snug them down. Go ahead and torque your lug nuts down to 130 foot-pounds. I'm going to do this in a crisscross pattern.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.